What's up, guys? It's Nonstop Steph, and at the time of this recording, we are about 5 days away from the NFL start of the regular season. So I'm sure that you guys are just as excited as I am. So with that being said, what I want to do today is I want to cover the 5 most important games that I believe that you should be watching, because I think these 5 games are going to have a lot riding on them, if you ask me. So I'm going to be working from 5 to 1. In the description, you'll actually be able to see the time slots where I begin each team, or each game, I should say. So with that in mind, let's get right to it. The number 5 most important game to be watching this week is going to be the Broncos versus the Raiders. And the reason behind that is pretty obvious. With all that was riding on Russell Wilson last year, especially with how badly he did, of course, the addition of Sean Payton, I want to say that this very first game is going to speak a lot about how the team is gelling with Russ, and as well as whether or not they're going to be able to bounce back if indeed they are going to be a much better team than we saw last year. This is also a divisional game, right? So this is a team that they will be seeing more than once. Now the Raiders, of course, now have Jimmy G, so we're going to actually be able to analyze whether or not the Jimmy G signing was a good idea. Now, in my opinion, the Raiders are in no position to be competing anyways. So the pressure really lies on the Broncos because, like I said, the Raiders are not really looking to compete, or at least there's not an expectation there for me. The Broncos, on the other hand, have a lot riding in this game. So I think that this game, especially in how tough that we assume the AFC West is going to be, the Broncos really need to get off to a very good start if they want to be competitive at all this year. The number 4 most important game this week is going to be the Seahawks versus the Rams. Now, I talked about this already in a past video that the Rams are really in a make it or break it season. So at this time, we don't know if Cooper Kupp will be playing week 1, as well as the question marks around Matt Stafford's injury and as well as his recovery. So we do need to see whether this team is ready to try to go for it again, or if this is going to be the final year where we have to blow it up. Now, in their own division, because this is, again, another divisional game, we can already write off the Cardinals. So now we're really looking at who's going to be the winner between the Seahawks, the Rams, and the 49ers. Now, a lot of people are going to preemptively assume that it will be the 49ers who will win this division, but at the same time, me personally, I'm watching for the Seahawks. I do have the Seahawks as one of the most dangerous teams coming into this league this year because the Seahawks have made great additions this past offseason, as well as they were great last year. I mean, this is a team who overachieved in most people's eyes, and there's no reason to think that they won't be able to do it again. In my opinion, they've only gotten better this offseason, and we are going to continue to watch the ascension of Geno Smith. Now, like I said, they've made a lot of great decisions, and I think that if the Seahawks get off to this game the right way that I think that they possibly and likely will, then I think that we're going to also be watching them compete for the NFC West crown, because I don't think that it's a gimme that the 49ers will indeed have that as a lock. Now, the number 3 most important game to be on the lookout for this week is going to be the Eagles versus the Patriots. Unlike the other 2 that I've mentioned, this is not a divisional game. So this is has a little bit less weight in the divisional standing per se, but this game does carry a lot of weight because we need to be able to evaluate whether or not this hype that is around Jalen Hurts is true, because last year better not be an anomaly. Me personally, I'm a big fan of Jalen Hurts and what he was able to do last year, but I don't want to see him decline. I don't want to see this team be so heavily reliant on the defense. You know, it's well known that the defense has lost a lot of their starters. So now we get to see that against a team like Bill Belichick, arguably the greatest coach ever, how the Eagles will suit. Bill Belichick defenses do one thing very well, which is take away your best thing. Can Bill stop Jalen Hurts? I don't know, but I will say that if we are able to see that he gets slowed down, you're going to hear a lot of criticism. You're going to hear a lot of talk around Jalen Hurts and the contract that he signed and whether or not he really is the guy. Now, me personally, I won't get too uppity because it's week 1. So give him a full season and see what the Eagles really do. But there will be a lot of mass criticisms of Jalen Hurts if he cannot beat who was considered to be the by far worst team, the Patriots. Not only that, then we also have to watch Mac Jones and see how he actually, plays this week. I mean, this is not someone who had a great year last year. You know, there were a lot of people who were calling for him to get benched, and were happy when Zappy was at end. So I think this will be a good bounce back year for Mac Jones. To me, that game has huge implications on the noise that will be around Jalen Hurts. The number two most important game to be on the lookout this week is going to be the Giants versus the Cowboys. Now, listen, I think it's pretty obvious when it comes to the Cowboys, with all of the noise that's been going around with Dak Prescott and interceptions from last year, that there's a lot of pressure riding on him, and he does not have a lot of room to underperform, especially after the trade that they've had now with Trey Lance. They've added another quarterback into that room. Whether he's going to be the second or third string, I don't think is officially announced. But the point being is, if he does not play good, if Dak does not play good week one, you're going to hear noise already around him. You're going to hear noise about whether or not they need to already be looking for the second string to take over, or the third string, whether that be Trey Lance or not. We'll see where that goes. But the point being, again, is Dak needs to come off strong. He cannot have a poor performance on week one. Not only that, then when you look at Daniel Jones and the Giants, people are already looking for all the reasons to criticize the contract he was given last year. Not only now are they going to be looking to critique that contract if they lose, they're also going to be saying, this is why you should have paid Saquon sooner. Now, we already know that, of course, he signed the contract, so he's going to be there week one. But the point being is, now we're going to be, judging the chemistry on, how things are going to work with Saquon. So I don't know that things are as good as they should be there in New York. But the point is, hey, they need to come off strong, because winning cures all. So if they start winning, they'll have a much better chance of kind of just mending and gelling again after all the offseason drama that the Giants did have to face. Not only that, of course, we did see them get some improvement. So now we got to see, hey, okay, cool. They made it into the playoffs by the skin of their teeth last year. What are they going to actually do this year? So in my opinion, that divisional game is going to be very, very crucial. And not nearly as crucial, though, as number one. In my opinion, the most important game we'll be watching is, of course, Monday Night Football. It's going to be the Bills versus the Jets. Everybody wants to see it. How is Aaron Rodgers going to fare for a full game with his new team? I think he's going to do great. I know that a lot of people have the Jets as their favorites going in this year. Now, me, I don't have them there, because I'm anticipating that when you look at their first 6 games, they've got a really, really hard schedule. And facing the Bills on week one is a big part of that. Josh Allen has never given me a reason to have doubt for him, especially on week one. He's only improved year after year after year. Now, I know all the drama regarding Stephon Diggs, whether he wants to be there or not. I don't think that will actually affect the play of the Bills the way that maybe other people do think. Of course, yes, it's important to have your number one, your best receiver. But at the end of the day, what Josh Allen's been able to do with all of the receiving targets that they have, whether it be Gabe Davis and the rest of the crew, I mean, they have put together so much good stuff that I'm not doubting the Bills. And I'll be honest, despite how good the Jets defense is, I don't know that the Jets defense is going to stop the Bills. Not this week, at least. Maybe later on in the season, maybe. But right now, as it is right now, I personally have the Bills winning week one. And if the Bills do win, I think that's going to cause like a huge amount of just uproar in New York, because we've never seen Aaron Rodgers receive criticism like he might receive in New York, in the media capital of the world. I mean, the amount of criticism, if he does not win week one, is going to be way more than I think that he is used to. Now, again, like we've said, when it comes to one of these other games I talked about, it's week one. No need to overreact. I won't get all uppity up, but there will be other people who are going to be critical of Aaron Rodgers if he does not win week one. And I think that is exactly why they need to win this game. Although I don't think they will, they need to win if they want to have a very, very good chance of being competitive for the entire year. Because like I said, those first 6 weeks, those first 6 games, it's gruesome if you're the Jets. So they need a good start to get that momentum rolling. And if they start off with the Bills, I mean, no better team than one within your division who is going to be competing for that divisional crown, and 2, someone who is already going to be competing for MVP nods like Josh Allen. So be on the lookout for those 5 games. Those are the most important 5 games that you could be watching as a fan this week. If there's another game that you think is more important than that, please put it in the comments. I appreciate you guys for listening to the end, and look forward to talking to you on the next one. Peace.